Day 9 of the Washington Commanders training camp is officially in the books. We have some new highlights. We also have some more news, notes, observations, including hearing from Dan Quinn himself talking about Jayden Daniels will be playing in the preseason. I was so excited to hear that because, man, I think Jayden Daniels is about to turn the NFL upside down. We also got to see him make a massive play towards the end of practice, almost a 75-yard touchdown. We're going to talk about that, as well as a couple of other guys who have continued to look good during practice. Now, keep in mind, some of these highlights are from today, probably the first couple of minutes, and then it gets into the last couple of days. Now, the reason being is because the media members, big shout to them, by the way, they're not allowed to, film certain portions of practice just because they don't want other teams seeing their 11-on-11 plays, their 7-on-7 plays. They don't want other teams to have film on their practices. So they're not allowed to take the film. So keep that in mind as you're watching this video. I really just wanted to keep you guys updated with what is going on in practice, who is standing out. Before we dive in, do me a favor and go follow them on X. Guys, I promise you, you will not regret it. It kind of feels like you're at practice because they're pretty much letting you know what's happening every single play. So go follow them. You're going to see 3 @ the top left of your screen. And with that being said, gotta dive into the video. So they did start off with a little bit of punt return. We saw Zacchaeus, we saw Kashmir Allen, Forbes, Mike Sainristil, and also Jahan Dotson, as well as your 5 guys taking punts to at least start practice. Now, they got to one-on-ones relatively quickly after punt session. They are doing a really good job not wasting any time of practice, going from one drill to the next. Now, one-on-ones were actually pretty fun, and a guy who has continued to, stand out over the last couple of days, and if you guys watched my last Commanders video, one of my breakout players was Emmanuel Forbes, right? And he is continuing to look very good in one-on-ones, 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s. Now, again, he has a lot of work to do, but today had a very good PBU versus Dynamic Brown in those one-on-ones. We also saw a beautiful throw by Jayden Daniels over the middle to Davion Davis, but he dropped it. So obviously, do not want to see that. We also saw Davion Davis bounce back and have one of the best catches in the drill over Kelly near the end zone. So again, yeah, Davion Davis did drop a great opportunity, but then comes back and has one of his best catches of the drill. So that was good to see. We talked about Forbes having a nice little PBU. Zacchaeus also had a nice over-the-shoulder grab in the end zone as well. And then we got into a little bit of team drills. So 7-on-7s, 11-on-11s, and things like that. Now, one thing to note was Andrew Wiley was out there, but he wasn't practicing with the team, which again, over the last couple of days, we were continuing to see other guys get opportunities. Brandon Coleman is one of them. Now, during 11-on-11s, Dan Quinn was actually spending a lot of time working with, Fedarian Mathis just to show him technique and what to do on certain pass rush drills. I mean, I think this was interesting. I don't really know if it says too much, but that was, something interesting to see. Dynamic Brown also had a really good rep against Benjamin St. Juste, creating great separation. It looked like it was probably a dig route over the middle. To be honest, Dynamic Brown has done such a good job at creating separation, but also hauling in some big-time catches. And in this specific play, made a hell of a grab. And, it seems like he is definitely in a position to lock up that wide receiver 3 role. Now, obviously, there's Luke McCaffrey and Zacchaeus as well, but Dynamic Brown looks like he's making a major contribution to this team. Now, before we get any further into the video, guys, do me a big favor, hit the like button, but more importantly, subscribe to the channel if you're new. Guys, it is free. It doesn't cost a thing to subscribe, and we will be covering the Commanders throughout every single day of training camp. And get this, we're going to be live streaming Jayden Daniels' preseason debut on my Twitch. If you want to come watch the game with me, react to it, all you got to do is go follow it. Link will be in the description, or you can find it at Matty Dubs with 3 S's. And with that being said, man, I cannot wait to watch that game with you guys too. So it's going to be really fun. We're also going to be breaking down the film from that game during, preseason, regular season, breaking down a ton of film. So make sure you guys join the family. Mike Sanderson also had some really good PBUs during practice as well. But overall, I thought the DBs versus wide receivers drill, that was something to really notice. I mean, a lot of these DBs are really getting activated here, really starting to stand out, and I think Mike Sanderson and Emmanuel Forbes at the top of my list for guys who could definitely have massive seasons in terms of creating turnovers. I think that is honestly like something we all can see, just because Joe Wood Jr., Dan Quinn, so that was good to see. We're also seeing Braden Daniels, a left tackle, get third team reps at left tackle. Now Braden is another interesting prospects. He's obviously a former 4th round pick, taking snaps behind Brandon Coleman, but now getting those, number 3 looks. We also saw Trent Scott for the 2nd straight practice at first team right tackle. Cornelius Lucas was working as the 2nd team left tackle. So again, a lot of mixing and matching going on here with the offensive line. We also saw an offensive lineman get carted off the field, Alex Akingbulu. Not really too sure what the what the word is exactly, but that was not great to see. He was getting carted off practice. Jamin Davis continuing to take edge work during team period. He was going up against Cleveland Farrell, and he was actually doing a really good job. Now, this is a guy that they want to use in a bunch of different ways, not only as an interior linebacker, but also get to the outside, put the hand on the ground, maybe even don't put the hand on the ground, come off the edge. This is a guy they're high on, man, and I think he's going to continue to get better as time goes on. So I'm excited about Jamin Davis and, the potential he has here in Washington. Brian Robinson is starting to catch a lot of passes. He's got really good hands, and he's just really starting to utilize that. Jayden Daniels also threw a 30-yard beautiful ball to Jahan Dotson. There was, actually not bad coverage, but still come down with it. Had a great throw there by Jayden Daniels, and he did a really good job. So nice little throw there by Daniels. Big pickup for Jahan Dotson. Like I said, 30 yards down the field. Now, in today's 11-on-11, Jayden Daniels went 12 of 15. Which is insane. Only 3 incompletions, one of them being a drop, and 2 of them were what would have been sacks if they were taking the quarterback down. Obviously, don't want to take that boy down. Mike Sanderson was getting some work at outside cornerback with the 2nd team. Now, he's a guy that's been primarily playing a lot of nickel, a lot of slot, and alongside Benjamin St. Juste and Michael Davis as well. Emmanuel Forbes been obviously rotating in a bunch of different areas, but man, I am really, really excited about this team overall. The DB room specifically, I think they've done such a good job developing, from last year to this year, but also I think they brought in a lot of really good players, man. I love Mike Sanderson. I love Jeremy Chin. You talk about the growth of Benjamin St. Juste and Derek Forrest, and you signed Michael Davis. I'm pumped, man. I really am. So, we also had Armani Rogers with a beautiful catch during practice day from, I believe, Marcus Mariota. Now, I don't really know if he's going to get too much playing time because of Zach Ertz, because of Ben Sinnott, but he's another guy that's been, slowly starting to stand out. Now, I did tell you guys something about Jayden Daniels having a really long 75-yard touchdown. That started to sound kind of crazy, but, a really long touchdown, And that was actually off a run. I believe they were working on a little bit of, running out time, clock management type of thing, where you're trying to end the game without creating a turnover. Yeah, you know what he did? He said, you know what, screw that. Took a 75-yard touchdown to the house with his legs. I mean, this dude is unbelievable. Again, I cannot wait to see him in the preseason. And again, we will be live streaming those games. So hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, join the family, go follow the Twitch. You'll find the link in the description. And I'll see you guys during that game and probably tomorrow's practice as well. Peace.